Nation, to this latest edition of the Sports Nerd Show. We are a collection of sports nerds whose mission is to bring you as much sports talk as time allows over the next 60 minutes. Although we will strive to be highly informative and equally as entertaining over the next hour, we must warn you that there may be some cuss words along the way. But we don't give a damn because that is the way most humans in the real world tend to talk, and we, the sports nerds, are no exception. So without further ado, Nerd Nation, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as I present to you the founder and host of this crazy-ass show, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your host, Scott Wright, along with my co-host tonight, Mr. Ken Koslow and Mr. Elliot Biggie Lamba. We come to you live each and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time when the host is not having issues, but we hope to be
which is most of the time.
Which we hope to have. We hope to have more or less none of those going forward. Anyway, guys, good to see you after a couple of weeks. Hope you all had a great couple of weeks. I'm doing all right. I go back into the office to work tomorrow. I'm going to stop working from home, so I get to go back and meet and see people in person for a change beginning tomorrow. So hope you guys are okay. Hope your weather is okay. I see a lot of posts from you about your exercise routine. I'm glad to see you're keeping up with that.
Well, I mean, I could either keep up with it or go back to where I was before, and that's not happening.
That's not an option for you.
That's not an option at all. At all.
So,
matter of fact, the Supernatural app that I used this week for the first time, I raked up over 20,000 points.
Wow. Anthony Slate is in the house. How you doing, Anthony? Good to see you.
What's up, Anthony?
There is one thing though.
What's that?
My workouts got curtailed a bit, but I'm plowing through it.
Mm-hmm.
I have what you call cuboid syndrome in my left foot.
Is that part of the diabetes or something else?
Well, you know that bone that's in the middle of the side of your foot?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of protrudes just slightly?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, mine is irritated red. You can tell that it's not, the doctor's checking into what I think physical therapy, I think they said is one option. Surgery is another. I have, I guess I got a spur near my Achilles.
Ouch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And so, for a day or so, it was rough. I've had to actually go exchange shoes and stuff like that because certain shoes just weren't working for me because the hard surface on the outside of the shoe is pressing up against that constantly.
Right.
So, but I'm plowing through it. I mean, I refuse to give up. This is me from now till when I go 6 under or into the oven, whatever.
Into the oven. Listen to you.
The oven. This too shall pass.
I think that's what they're going to do to me once I'm gone. Put me in an oven. But no, just, like I said, it's just a matter of starting, committing, and staying committed. And
like I said, this too shall pass.
Yeah, and like I told you in the messages, Scott, you still got 2 legs. I think they're functional. And I do believe you have a nice neighborhood where you can get some good walks in.
You think my neighborhood is nice?
Yeah.
Okay. You've been here a couple of times. I'm just making sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can walk down to the lake and back. That's a good walk.
Yeah, that's a good walk.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know my buddy Shelby next door?
Huh?
My buddy Shelby next door? He's getting evicted.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, because he's the prick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, landlords decided finally he had enough of his bullshit. So anyway, He's getting evicted. He's got 60 days. He's got a 60-day notice to get out. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's move on.
If you decide that you want to get into the walking thing, remember I told you to get a fitness tracker?
Like the one I have on my watch?
Is that what you have?
I have, yes, I do.
So it tracks your steps and your
Yeah.
heart rate and all
Yes.
that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that you couple it with whatever app.
It's linked to my phone.
Well, there you go. And there should be apps on there where they have like routes and stuff that you can walk in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yep.
several apps that can do that.
Yep.
And again, it's just taking that first step. Once you take that first step, don't look back. And you'll be fine.
And that was lecturing. Oh, thank you very much for that. I'm just kidding. Anyway, we've been off the last 2 weeks. There's a couple of things that we didn't get to talk about last week, so I'm going to bring these up. First of all, we're going to get the sad part of the show out of the way, Elliot, for your sake, okay?
What's that part?
We lost some people in the last couple of weeks.
Well, I know we lost Loretta Swit.
We lost George Wendt, first of all.
Oh, George, yeah.
Okay. I was a big Cheers fan. It was part of my 20s. And, you know, who doesn't know who Norm is? Come on, please. But George
Let me
Wendt.
ask you a question. Are these deaths coming as a huge shock, or?
Well, maybe not.
Because, I mean, 87 years old is
Yeah, but Irsay was a shock.
Irsay, but that's just it. Irsay was a junkie
Yeah, but
at one point. And that shit tends to wear on you. Just ask Eddie Guerrero's family.
yeah, that's true.
Okay? That stuff can wear on you eventually.
Yep.
And I know that you turn around and say, oh, I'm rooting for Indiana, but you might have just put the hex on Indiana because they're going to get blown out by OKC.
I think OKC is going to blow them out. I think you're right on that too.
Um,
yes, the other one was Loretta Swit. I don't know. I mean, we all grew up watching MASH, guys, back in the day.
But how much did we cap on Jim Irsay back in the day?
We used to give him
We talk
shit.
all kinds of shit about that dude.
Yeah,
and
we
now
did.
you want to get heartfelt?
No, I mean, you got to admit. I mean, he did a lot for the community in Indianapolis. He did a lot for the
He did a lot for the crack dealers too.
He did a lot for you know he was a big time philanthropist. He gave a lot of
He
money.
kept the crack industry going in
Oh
Indianapolis.
my God, Elliot!
He fortified it really well.
He gave away a lot of his money to charity. He did.
Well, that's good.
Okay, so.
And he also charitably gave his money away to crack dealers.
Oh, good God.
But anyway, yeah, it's sad that he lost. I mean, 65 years old.
Hey, Brett.
I'm like a year and a couple months away from 65.
Well, let's hope you make it past 65.
I'm already there.
We're hoping for that.
Well, hopefully all this work I'm putting in will extend my life, into the 80s. I hope.
While we were away,
Mm-hmm.
the NFL has now endorsed flag football in the Olympics.
Mhm.
All right.
They said the players can play.
They're saying that the NFL players can play. That's one player per team.
Right.
Okay. So, which is a total of 32 players across the board that can qualify to play in the Olympics.
Unless they skip.
What's that?
Unless they skip the Cleveland Browns and give it to somebody else.
Well, you know what? There's not going to be 32 NFL players because, first of all, the U.S. already has a flag football team, and they're already challenging NFL players to a game to see who gets to go to the Olympics. First of all,
Who are you guys going to send? Deshaun Watson?
You know what? No. I mean, Tyreek Hill has said he wants to play in the Olympics and flag.
Well, of course he does. Where's the Olympics at? Here?
LA?
In LA?
You're in
I think
LA?
it's LA. Yeah, I think it's LA.
They're gonna need to put out a warning to all the females in LA
Correct.
Right.
to take birth control that week. Those two. Beef up on the birth control if Tyreek Hill's around.
Elliot's bringing the snark today. I love it. But again,
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
This flag football, isn't that much, a little more than a 7-on-7 tournament?
Pretty much.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
how many players are you going to have on a team? I mean,
well, it's pretty much what, Pro Bowl weekend type stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean, if that's the case, who's going to watch that? I mean,
I don't know what the max. I think
well,
the
it's
max
better than breakdancing.
I think the max amount of players on the team is going to be like 10 or 12 or something like that.
Oh, you have to have more than that because you'll have injuries. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, I think that's the max. I'm not sure
maybe
what the actual number is, but I mean, it's not going to be a 53-man roster like a regular NFL team.
No.
It's not going to be that at all. So,
tell you one thing. I tell you a country you better watch out for. Tonga. The Samoans. Yes, all the Polynesian players, because you got a bunch of them in the NFL right now, and they're probably itching to play something like that.
Yeah.
You don't think Tua's gonna jump at the chance at that to win a
but he
gold
was
medal?
born in the U.S., so I don't understand that.
Yeah, they'll pull his flag and he'll get concussed.
Yes, correct.
If you get concussed in the in flag football, you got a problem. You got a big problem.
Well, Tua has big problems when it comes to
but that's not exactly flag football he was playing. Contact.
The NFL has kept the tush push.
Yes. And I don't see why they shouldn't.
My feelings on the subject, I think I've expressed them. You know what? Figure out a way to stop it. You got to stop it. I mean, it's just that simple.
How to stop the
Stop
tush
it.
push?
I've been saying that all along.
Just stop it. That's all you got to do. Come up with a way to stop it.
Don't complain. Figure out a way to stop it.
Correct.
Anything short of trench warfare, and it's going to be pretty much unstoppable.
You know what? And I don't buy into the injury speculation because Jason Kelsey, who was the center for the Eagles all those years,
for many years
many years, put his body through it. He said, "I don't know why you want to get rid of it. I don't have a problem with it. I was in the trenches for a decade doing it. So I don't. It is what it is."
And he's the toughest. For him, it would be the toughest because he's got to snap the ball.
Yes.
That's right. He's in the middle of the fray.
And then drive the defensive line back so that Jalen Hurts can get through. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Well, it all depends on how the defense attacks it. And if you stay low, it'll work.
Well, the Commanders didn't do very well in that in the playoffs when they got 3 consecutive.
And neither did Buffalo.
Huh?
And neither did the Buffalo Bills.
No, neither did the Bills.
Mm-mm.
Okay, how many times did Josh Allen get stuffed against Kansas City? 3 or 4?
Speaking of Josh Allen, congratulations on your nuptials, Josh, to Haley Steinfeld.
Very nice.
How lucky is that son of a bitch?
I don't know. He's got to win a Super Bowl first.
Nice pictures.
So there was the looming question on ESPN this week. Who is it more critical to make the Super Bowl this year, Josh or Lamar?
Josh.
Coming
off an MVP season, I think it's Josh.
He got a ring. It's just not the ring he wanted. But
unless he can't ring around the collar, but that's a whole.
But I think it's Josh. I mean, there's pressure on Lamar. I mean, don't get me wrong. Lamar's a close second to Josh, but coming off an MVP season, the Bills have always been. I mean, the Chiefs have always been the Bills' kryptonite. He has to get past Patrick Mahomes. That's the key. He needs to do it. To show he can do it.
But so does Baltimore.
Well, Baltimore doesn't have the history against Kansas City that the Bills do.
They choked last year, the year before, whatever. They choked against Kansas City.
Well, they lost against Buffalo last season. So
a
Buffalo.
lot of teams have choked against Kansas City.
That's true. All right.
Well,
but I think the Bills
got 12 guys on the field.
The Bills have a more storied history in recent years against the Chiefs than the Ravens do. Okay. So I think Josh is the one that needs to get over that hump, get past Patrick Mahomes, and then get into the big game. Whether he wins or not, it doesn't matter. If he can get past Patrick Mahomes, that's going to be key.
I think Philadelphia laid out the game plan on how to beat Kansas City.
Well, yeah, they were nothing at half. I mean, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They showed you how you can drub Kansas City. Okay.
Well, again, we're coming up to this season. Kansas City's going to be a year older, especially with Travis Kelce. They're not going to be as – I mean, people are starting to figure out Patrick Mahomes. They're starting to figure him out. There's a lot of tape on teams being able to figure out Patrick Mahomes. And they're not going to be – I don't think – they're not going to be the dominant team this coming season than they have been in the past.
One way to stop.
I really don't think the Chiefs win the division next year. I think it's going to be either Denver or the Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah. So that's my thing.
Real possibility.
I don't think the Chiefs win the division.
I think one thing they could do is make the referees shove their whistles up their ass before every Kansas City.
That too, yes, I agree. But yeah, I think the Chiefs dynasty is on its way out. I think they're on the decline.
Well, how much of a dynasty is it if they lost 2 Super Bowls?
But they won 3.
Doesn't matter. Dynasty, you win several and don't lose.
But so they've lost 2, but they've been to 5 and won 3 of the 5.
Yeah, and they got blown out in the 2 losses.
Doesn't matter. I mean, look at the Patriots.
Yes, it does, because guess what? They barely got by Philadelphia on a bullshit defensive pass interference call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what was it? Last year against San Francisco, or the year before, whatever. Okay.
Where Brock Purdy played like an MVP. I mean, he played really, really good against the Chiefs that year.
Yeah, and referees, they basically no holding calls against the team that led the league in holding penalties.
Right.
Yeah.
Really? And all 3 wins, by the way, all 3 Super Bowl wins
were close.
Mm-hmm.
Were close, and the penalties that they would get called on during the regular season weren't getting called in those Super Bowls.
And not all of them during the regular
season. The NFL's been coddling Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes,
Philadelphia for the end of that bullshit. Because they didn't even let the referees get involved, to be They just came out and seized the moment. Referees be damned. Okay. And Kansas City didn't know how to react to that. And so Kelce, he didn't have a great game either.
No, he didn't.
So if you're gonna shove the whistles up the referee's ass, then if you ever hear a whistle, it better be a fart. Then, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so we got the finals in both the NBA and the NHL decided. Edmonton going against the Panthers.
The rematch.
Again, rematch from last year. And the matchup that the NBA front office really didn't want, OKC in Indiana.
That ain't the only one. How about ABC and ESPN?
Yeah, true.
And this is their last year to do the NBA.
Yes.
And TNT
last year.
They would have preferred to have gone back to New York on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I mean, I wish John was here so he could talk about his Oilers. I know he's psyched about it. But again, the Panthers really played real well against them last time when they won the cup against them. you guys think this is a different Edmonton team, or do you think it's the same Edmonton team? Is it going to be the same result? What do you guys think? I mean, the Oilers have home field, home ice, so I don't know what I don't know what you think about that.
I think it's.
Didn't they have home ice last year too?
I don't know.
Florida did.
Florida did.
Yeah, because that Game 7 was in Miami.
Right.
I think it's the same Edmonton team, but a different fire because they've stoked the fire and they seem to be a team on a mission. And John and I talked about this the other day after the.
Yeah, but Florida's a juggernaut right now, Ken.
Florida is a juggernaut, but Edmonton is coming on strong. And you remember, Florida had a 3-0 lead last year, and Edmonton kept chipping away at Stone. They got it back to 3-3.
Many people were doubting Florida going against Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, they doubted them going against the Lightning too. I mean, in the first round.
And they handled Carolina.
Well, they handled the Lightning too.
Okay. Look, it's all about who peaks at the right time. And right now, I think both teams are peaking.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
it ought to be a really good series.
I'm hoping it's a good series. I really am.
Well, I am too.
It's all on TNT, so I won't get to see any of it. So,
and for John's sake, and for Scott's sanity, I hope Edmonton wins.
You and me both. I can't stand the freaking Panthers.
Because I know you can't stand the Panthers, right?
I can't stand the Panthers.
Well, that's because you got to share a state with them.
Well, I you know what? As much as I hate the Penguins and the Rangers, I hate the Panthers more. So that's just it.
Like I said, because your team shares a state with them.
Correct.
proximity.
Correct. The Panthers have been the bane of the Lightning's existence for the last few years.
And they could go back to back, which
Right.
would match Tampa's efforts from a few years back,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Would that
I
be
don't
long?
I haven't watched a stick of NHL playoffs this year. Not even.
Fortunately, I have.
Well,
I'm sorry
because
about
you were watching the Stars.
sorry about the
man. Come on.
Stars.
Very disappointing. I'm not going to say that the Oilers weren't the better team, but they're not that much better. I mean,
Wow.
the
Again, it's all about peaking. I don't think
it is all about peaking, and we didn't peak.
no.
They did.
Nope.
Before we get to the NBA playoffs, there's a couple other items. The NCAA has made changes to the seeding for the playoffs, meaning it's going to be seeded based on ranking
Mm-hmm.
in the polls,
Which they should
as
have done
opposed
last year.
to conference champions who are going to get the buys.
You mean the what do they call that shit?
The top 4 teams ranked
Mhm.
by the committee will get
Yep.
the buy.
There's a term for it though.
What is it?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
1 year too late, that's for sure.
Ron's here. Hey, Ron, how you doing, bud?
Ron is here.
The automatic bid.
Automatic bid.
Yeah,
It's an automatic bid.
I'll try and see if I can join in for the last half hour. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you, Ron, but I can't
Fine.
see you.
We need your camera.
Yeah, that's because I'm driving.
Oh, you're
Oh, wow.
driving. Oh,
Well, that's
all right.
good.
Okay.
All right, well, it's good that you jumped in because we were just talking about the finals between the Oilers and the Panthers, and we you know, I think all three of us here are on the Oilers. Hopefully, we're rooting for them anyway. But what do you think, Ron? How do you think that's the finals are gonna turn out?
Well, there's
Hi, puppy. Go ahead, Ron.
He's on a
Oh,
phone, so
The phone's
remember,
not working well.
it could be unstable.
The
Yeah.
phone's internet is not stable.
And he's in Canada, so that
It's Canada.
that magnifies the problem.
So we'll wait for him to get back. I mean, I think that the NCAA did a good thing here with the seeding. Ken, what do you think?
Yes.
You and me are on the same page when it comes to NCAA. You don't like it?
I love it. It's a year late. I mean, it should have been done last year.
Right.
Didn't they nix in the NFL the proposal to?
They did.
Yeah.
To do the reseeding. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Nix it. Yes.
Yeah. I don't understand why, but they did. It looks like it's only a year. I mean, it's only a foregone conclusion that the playoff will be 16 teams next year.
I think when I use the camera, it uses.
Yeah,
I
we
can hear you,
you.
Ron.
We can see
Yeah,
you.
we got you,
We
Ron.
can hear you.
You don't need your camera. You can just talk.
Yeah. Just talk.
He can't do that now either.
And he's jumped out or something. I don't know what's going on. He's on the road somewhere. He was going to try and jump in, but he said he couldn't be here until 8 o'clock. So that's why he's doing this.
I think
regardless.
it'll be 16 teams in 2026.
Correct. They're not going to do
And,
it this season, but they will do it next year. It'll be 16 teams.
Right.
And that's also good. Do they have bye weeks if there's 16 teams, Ken, or are they all going to play the first week of the playoffs?
I think they'll all play the first week.
I would think so, too.
Yeah. At some point. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Ron, leave your camera off. Just talk.
All right.
We can-
So
we can
you
do
guys should be a little bit better now. I'm not sure if you heard what I said earlier, but rolling into the playoffs, nobody thought Edmonton would make it to the finals. Nobody. Colorado was supposed to be here. Dallas was supposed to be here. Anybody but Edmonton. Something happened for game 3 against the Los Angeles Kings. And whatever was ailing the Edmonton Oilers, whether it was mindset, whether it was ability, whether it was, I don't know, a coach's decision or something that was said by the coaching staff, but the Edmonton Oilers have done a complete 180. They're doing everything their way. They're not bowing to any kind of superstitions. They are absolutely doing everything in their power not to be typical. I mean, they pick up the trophy.
Yeah.
Well,
Is my
I've
math
heard
correct?
that. I've heard that if you want to fix the things that ail you in hockey, you just look for the Los Angeles Kings to fix.
Well, it's worked for the Edmonton Oilers. That's so bizarre because a lot of people are saying it was a coaching decision by the Los Angeles Kings that cost them the series. But I don't know. I'm listening to the words that are coming out in post-game interviews and pre-game interviews, and the Edmonton Oilers are not your typical team in 2025. You got Troy Stecher, who's been doing phenomenal in defense, saying Ekholm is a better defenseman. I am going to sit out so that he can play. You've got Calvin Pickard, who goes 6-0 in relief of Stuart Skinner, and he's sitting out.
Is my math off, Ron? Or if I'm figuring this right, since that game 3 you were talking about it against LA, the Oilers are now 11-2.
11-2.
11 out of the last 13.
So 6 games against Los Angeles, 5 games against Vegas, and 5 games against Dallas.
Somebody flipped a switch on that team, and it's
When I tell you about peaking,
Yeah.
They're peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. We actually saw that from the Los Angeles Kings a number of years ago. Here's a team you'll remember. They snuck in through the fact that another team lost, and they ended up sneaking into the playoffs, and they win the Stanley Cup that year. You look at the Dallas Stars, and I don't know what happened to Rantanen, but he comes in and gets a hat trick in his first game. Everybody's calling him the Conn Smythe Trophy winner, and then he just disappeared. He just disappeared.
All Jake players disappeared.
Jay Gottinger and Connor Hellebuck, they were supposed to be dueling it out for who's going to be the American goalie in the Olympics. Yeah. And, honestly, Ottinger outplayed Hellebuck in that series, especially in Dallas.
Yeah.
But what happened to him? Oh, God, we got to talk about that too. But what happened to him against the Edmonton Oilers is just mystifying. It's like, how do you go from being the guy to being pulled 7 minutes to go or 7 minutes into game number 5?
Yeah. 2 goals back to back, and all of a sudden he's on the bench.
Yeah, but the thing is Pete DeBoer, come on now. How has he still got a job after that? Pete DeBoer, I'm not sure if you guys saw the video, but it was terrible.
Yes,
So they had a timeout. They had a team timeout after it was 2-0. Everybody's around the bench. No message got to Jake Ottinger. No message. He starts skating away, and there's Pete DeBoer. Where are you going? You get on the bench. And like he embarrassed his goaltender that he's got for the next 8 years. Ottinger is signed for the next 8 years with the Dallas Stars.
Yep. That leads me to my next question to you, Ron. Has Pete DeBoer taken the Stars as far as he can?
Pete DeBoer should not be with the Stars the day after that incident, the day after that loss. In the post-game interview, if you guys didn't hear that, and this is only a summarizing or paraphrasing, but he was asked, is this the best Dallas team that you have coached? And he basically said no.
Best Dallas team he coached probably was last year.
But you kind of don't say that, right?
No,
he's just
not out loud anyway.
No.
Yeah, he's asking to be fired. I mean, everything that he did from when it was 2-0 Edmonton.
Yeah, we've been scratching our heads for the last 3 days, 4 days. What the hell happened to this team? I will be honest with you. I'm not going to dispute the fact that.
Ron, you're going in and out on us, Ron.
Yeah.
What you know?
Yeah, I'm coming through to another tower. That's why.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, Ron. I'm not going to dispute the fact the Oilers were the better team. That the series proved it 4-1. But I think the line 4-1 flattered the Oilers because I don't believe that the Oilers are that much better than the Stars. The Stars, I don't know what happened to them.
History.
It's a mystery to me, and what happens over the summer before this team goes to the training camp in September, I couldn't begin to tell you right now. But I will, in a way, I'll be very surprised if DeBoer is back.
Well, again, the season just ended, so it could be a matter of the Stars front office going, okay, do we keep him? Do we get rid of him? What's going on?
We haven't heard from Jim Neal yet, so that'd be very interesting to see what he has to say about this season and DeBoer for that matter.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he saw Pete DeBoer shoot himself in the foot, and now he's going to just let him wander around like a wounded rabbit. I don't know. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
But you mentioned one thing. You mentioned that the Dallas Stars felt like they were overwhelmed. It's so true. If you look at game 1, that was the best 50-50 chance that the Dallas Stars had. They do get a game, they do get that win. But every game after that, people were saying, this is Dallas's game. This is Dallas's game. This is Dallas's game. And every time you look at the end of the first period, it was Edmonton running roughshod.
Right. Yeah.
The thing is, up until that 5-goal third period in game 1, Edmonton was dominating that game. It was 3-1 going into the third period. And we got 5 goals and ended up taking it 6-3. The thing about the Stars was they would be lights out, the best team in hockey for 1 period. But the hockey is 3 periods, and those other 2 periods, they hardly ever showed up.
Right.
And you can't play like that against Edmonton or anybody else for that matter.
Right.
And for the life of me, I cannot figure out what was wrong with them. But like I said, I'll be very interested to see what happens to DeBoer over the summer. How Jim Nill works his figures on it, because I would not be surprised.
He's a better GM than the Mavericks. I'm just saying. Okay.
Oh, Jim Nill's the best GM we've got in this entire area.
Okay.
I mean, he's head over heels better than
Even
the
better
Cowboys.
than Jerry Jones? Really? Seriously?
Yeah. Just a tad.
Come on, man. I don't believe you believe that.
Oh,
There's probably three things that I like to say when I'm doing play-by-play for hockey. Number one, it's played on a sheet of ice, not on a sheet of paper. So you just honestly, you never know what's going to happen until the puck drops.
Right.
Number two, you got to play a full 60 minutes. If you're not going to play a full 60 minutes, things can turn upside down on a dime in the last 2 minutes of a game. We saw it with the Vancouver Canucks last game of the regular season. They end up coming back from 3 goals down with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in the game, and they ended up tying it and then winning it in overtime. The other thing that I like to always point out is that if you have a shitty first half, pardon the language, but if you can't get it done,
Did Ron just cuss on my radio show, on my podcast?
if you can't get it done in the first 10 minutes or to the 10-minute mark of the second period, you still have the second half. So what's been done in the first half can be undone in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do not have that positive mindset, then you're in big trouble. And this is what happened with Pete DeBoer. 7 minutes into the first period, and he's basically telling his starting goaltender, you can't win us a game. He's basically telling all of the players, you guys didn't show up for a must-win game. You guys are shit.
He swore again. He cussed
one
again.
of the things we noticed in the press conference is he went back to Otter's record against Edmonton for the last 2 or 3 years, and it is not very good. That point, I'll have to admit, he was spot on about. But in a Stanley Cup possibility game, you don't pull the goalkeeper in 7 minutes into the first period and go, well, let's try something else.
What was the score when they pulled it? What was the score when they pulled it?
2-0.
It was two goals on 2 shots. That's probably what. Yeah, that's what really tipped it for Pete DeBoer. The problem is that it was a knee-jerk reaction, everything about it. The timeout must have been a knee-jerk reaction, because why are not the assistant coaches letting Ottinger know that he's sitting?
Yeah.
Because if Pete DeBoer would have handled it properly, Ottinger could have went back into the game. You guys remember Patrick Waugh when he walked over to Corey, who was the GM at the time. In Montreal, the GM sits right behind the bench.
Yep.
And he walked up to Corey, whispered in his ear, I'm done. I'm never playing for you again, and walked away. I wouldn't be surprised if Ottinger did something similar in game number 5. And when the score got close, you saw Pete DeBoer looking at Jake Ottinger, and Ottinger would not look back at him.
Yep.
So that tells me that when Ottinger went down that tunnel, he was prepared to actually leave.
I've seen that look before from teams in this area, and it never ends well.
Yeah.
Never ends
So,
well.
Like I said, I'm absolutely surprised that 6 days later, Pete DeBoer's future with the Dallas Stars is still uncertain and hasn't been clarified one way or the other. With Jim Nill saying he's gone, or Jim Nill saying, no, this was a heated moment. This is what ends up happening when you're passionate about the game, and DeBoer is passionate about the Dallas Stars, and we are going to go back. We're going to go back to next season with DeBoer behind the bench. Jill Nill hasn't said anything.
No. Nope. Not yet.
Are you sure Jerry Jones is not in charge of the Dallas Stars?
Sometimes it looks like it. I tell you what, I'll be honest with you, it looked like a Cowboys full job with the Stars.
Either that or he's advising the Stars, and they're just making bad decisions based on his advising.
So they do say that 90% of the hockey fans are likely to be cheering for the Edmonton Oilers. The only 10% would be from Southern Florida. But we got to talk a little bit about Florida.
Isn't from Western Florida, I'm telling you right now. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we got to talk about the Florida Panthers, though, because here's a team that's made it to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row.
How the hell did that happen?
Right? And you know what? Actually, Scott, I want to talk to you about this. We touched on it a couple of times about how the tax situation in the state of Florida is different than in most other states.
There is zero state tax in the state of Florida.
Right.
So Florida has been dominating the NHL here in the last 10 years. You look at what Tampa Bay Lightning has done. You look now what Florida Panthers are doing. Right. So people are prepared. So Sam Bennett thinks that he's worth $8 million, but in any other market, he wants 10. The reason why? Because he gets to keep more money. So now you have a team.
That's what it is. It's the taxes.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So, that really changes the whole map when it comes to the NHL, because now you're going to want players. Players are going to want to start playing in these states. Carolina is one of those states.
There's more than just Florida who has zero sales tax.
Yeah.
Texas is another one.
Texas, Nevada, Washington, Tennessee.
Yeah, Carolina is too.
Yeah,
tourist states, basically.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah. So the problem with the Carolina Hurricanes is that they can really only play one way. And unfortunately, the Florida Panthers, they come at you in waves.
Yep.
And the Carolina Hurricanes cannot handle that. So it's unfortunate. Carolina, they gave it a valiant effort in game number 4 to stay alive for one more game. Yep. They actually gave a pretty good effort in game number 5. They just didn't get the bounces. But the thing that I wanted to talk about with the Florida Panthers, it's almost what I said about the Edmonton Oilers, but it's a little bit different. But they asked Brad Marchand after the Toronto series, how was it that you guys were more desperate than Toronto? And he's like, what do you mean? We weren't desperate. We're just playing our hockey. And he's eating a Dairy Queen Blizzard in between, right? Like, so, but that's my point. Like that was desperation for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's not desperation for the Florida Panthers. And in a way, I'm not seeing desperation out of the Edmonton Oilers, even when they're trailing in a game.
Nope. They're just full steam, damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead.
So again, everything's been flipped. We can't even look at past performance and make an educated guess of how this is going to turn out, because past performance says that the Edmonton Oilers should not be where they are. Stuart Skinner is not the goaltender to win a Stanley Cup Finals. But here he is heading into the Stanley Cup Finals up against Bobrovsky. And Bobrovsky has been there before. He's solid. He can be beat. But the thing is that the defense for the Edmonton Oilers, they've got some injuries. And for some reason, those injuries did not impact them against the Dallas Stars. They lost 2 key players in back-to-back games. Mm-hmm. They lost Zach Hyman, and the game before that, they lost Connor Brown. And you've got Corey Perry, who's 40 years old, playing with Connor McDavid. He's playing with arguably the best player in the NHL today. And he's 40 years old.
But hats off to the Leafs, though, for at least getting past the first round this season. So, I mean, hats off to them.
From a Canadian's perspective, I'm going to tell you that does not matter. It does not matter.
That's pretty sad.
Are you going to feel that way if the Cowboys win the first round?
They finished at the top of their division. They had the pieces. They had everything to go the distance. and they can't get it done. And it's not because Stolarz got knocked out by Sam Bennett in game number 3 or anything like that, or game number 2, sorry, in game 2. It has nothing to do with that. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Jonathan Tavares, you look at the core 4 of the Toronto Maple Leafs, they didn't get the job done.
Yeah. Who do you like in the series, Ron?
See, and this is why I'm saying, like, you look at this series, this one here is tough. If you don't know who to pick, you got to say one team is going to win it in 7, because this is too evenly matched. If you look at goaltenders and defense, you got to say that the Florida Panthers might be a little bit tougher there. If you look at the forward lines, you got to think that the Edmonton Oilers are a little bit deeper, but they've lost a couple of pieces.
With Draisaitl and McDavid on that team, it's gonna be tough. I mean, they're the 2 best players on that team right now, and it's gonna be exciting to watch.
They're only the best 2 players because of total points.
Right.
But the thing is they haven't been winning games because of an assist by Connor McDavid. They won the game against the Dallas Stars without question. They won the game because of that breakaway opportunity that Connor McDavid had and scored that 4th goal. Without question, that's a highlight reel goal that should be shown over and over and over again. But Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are just kind of going through the motions, not in a bad way. They're just kind of going through the motions because the team is so deep. It's the rest of the team that's getting stuff done. You look at Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and he is now arguably a fan favorite for Conn Smythe.
He's the X factor, yes.
So, Connor McDavid may not win the Conn Smythe this year.
I will say this.
You got to remember, in 7 games last year, Connor McDavid on the losing Edmonton Oilers won the Conn Smythe Trophy last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I will say this. A year ago, Florida had home ice advantage and grabbed a 3-0 lead in the series, and Edmonton started chipping away with the stone and got it all the way to the 7th game. Okay, Edmonton now has home ice this year. And if for any reason, and this is way off the charts, if for any reason Florida gains that same 3-0 lead this year, it's going to be well, I'm trying to think.
It's going to play out. It's going to play out the same as last year, but with less games.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, it's.
Edmonton won't be able to come back from being down 3 games to none.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's going to be there was a battle in World War II. I'm trying to think the one where everyone was evacuated.
That would be oh God, Dunkirk. Thank you very much.
Dunkirk. Thank you.
Yes, I am a World War II guy, so if you need to know, let me know.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew that Al McGuire used to refer to Dunkirk all the time.
Yes.
If Edmonton goes up 3-0 this year, it's going to be Dunkirk because.
Ron, I hate to cut you off, but we need to move on to the NBA. If you want to put your 2 cents in, we will let you do that. But
you got to get me caught up. It was my birthday this weekend, so I only got to see it.
Birthday. I did wish you a happy birthday on Facebook, but
get me caught up on the basketball. Did Indiana finally do it? Did the Mets lose?
Yeah, the Pacers
or Knicks?
Night, and it is now going to be the Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder. Not exactly the ratings horse that the NBA or the networks wanted. But it's really intriguing. Everybody's taking OKC. But you know what? As a Cavs fan, Indiana really put it to the Cavs in the second round, and I would not put it past Indiana to be playing very well in this series. They don't have home field, they don't have home court advantage, but I still think it's going to be a really, really good series because both these teams play at 100%, full throttle, no holds barred, no going back.
But OKC has the better defense.
I agree.
Yeah.
Elliot.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And that's
They
what
do.
it comes down to in the end. Whose defense
And
can-
wasn't the Thunder there last year?
no.
No,
Okay.
they haven't
Okay.
been there in
It
13
was Denver last year,
years.
not Denver. Was it Denver? Nuggets last year?
No, it was Boston and Dallas last year.
Boston and Dallas. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Then Boston won.
All right.
Right.
Anyways, take over with the NBA. I just pulled into my driveway. I might be able to join you for the last few minutes, but if not, you gentlemen, thank you very much for having me on and putting up with the black
Always.
screen.
It's always
Always.
good to have you on, Ron, whether we can see your face or not. We love you having on the show.
And happy birthday.
And happy birthday, sir.
Again.
Thank you, sir.
Hopefully the wife treated you very well on your birthday.
We'll leave that out.
Hey, he's gonna keep
That
you in the
chuckle
dark like
says
his.
everything we need to know. Thank you, Ron.
He's gonna keep that one in the dark like his broadcast. here.
Yeah.
Yes, keep that in the dark like
Like
his avatar right now. Oh, that's great. All right, so let's talk to you guys. What do you guys think about this series with the Pacers and the Thunder?
I think Thunder in 5.
Yeah. That's what I got to. OKC in 5.
You don't think Indiana's got it to I mean,
I think Indiana will be more than competitive. It's not going to be a blowout all left and right. But Oklahoma City will have
I
just
think
enough.
what Indiana did was it took advantage of teams that were not playing to their level on defense.
Mm.
Okay, because Cleveland gave up way too many points to Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And that's crazy because the Cavaliers have one of the best defenses in the NBA this year too.
Right.
And the Knicks, look, the Knicks lost that series in game 1.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be the first one to go out there and say it. When they lost that game 1, I was like, if they don't win game 2, this series is over.
Right.
Because they blew a 14-point lead with 2.5 minutes left, a 9-point lead with 52 seconds left.
Yep.
Okay. And in the end, it was a bullshit shot by Tyrese Halliburton that sent that shit in over. How many times does the ball hit a rim and go straight up 20 feet and drop straight through?
They were comparing it
Exactly.
to they were comparing it to Kawhi's shot when he was with when the
because
Raptors won.
His hit the rim a few times.
Yeah, right.
Okay, it bounced around on the rim. This
Yep.
one hit the back of the rim, went straight up in the air, and came straight back
And
down.
dropped.
Yes.
Okay.
What are the
To
odds?
me,
guys?
those are the kind of things that I'm a firm believer in destiny,
Yeah.
and those are the kind of things that create destiny.
Right.
Okay, they were destined to beat the Knicks, but I don't think they got what it takes to beat OKC. OKC's
It's going to be an interesting series. I mean, it may not go 7 games, but it's going to be fun to watch.
I bet you Indiana gets blown out in at least 2 of them.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't think so.
My issue
In
is
2 games.
what
I
kind of
think-
ratings do you think ABC, ESPN are going to get on the finals?
They're not
Not
gonna
what
get
they
very
would have
good.
gotten if it was OKC in New York.
Right.
Now that Florida and Edmonton are playing in the Stanley Cup Finals, even though it's on TNT, I think they'll get the better ratings. It's going to be much
Well,
better
yeah, it's a
matchup.
rematch, first of all.
Yeah, rematch, and it's much better matchup. And
And you got the 2
Indiana
hottest
and
teams in the playoffs
okay,
right now.
look at this. Indianapolis is the 25th largest media market, TV market in the nation.
Mhm.
Oklahoma City is 47th. This is the lowest matchup lowest average TV markets that we've ever had in the NBA Finals.
Right.
And I don't know, ABC. I mean, all the execs in Bristol, you better keep them away from sharp objects because they may be on 24-hour suicide watch for this.
Right. Well,
I'll watch it. I mean, I'll watch it just out of curiosity. But
What the problem was with the Knicks is, look, turnovers.
yeah,
They had way too many freaking turnovers.
mm-hmm.
Okay. The defense being inconsistent, especially Karl Anthony Towns,
Mm-hmm.
which now the voices are speaking loudly that he needs to be traded
Yeah,
because the
Where's
staff
that?
and the players weren't happy with his defensive contribution or lack thereof.
Right.
Lapses. Yep.
Not to mention the silly freaking fouls he commits
Yeah.
to put the team in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, that's probably why Minnesota got rid of his ass. Because he wasn't doing nothing for them. They kept Rudy
That's
Gobert
right.
instead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But
Just a
listen to this.
broadcasting note, guys. The NHL finals start Wednesday.
Right.
The NBA finals start Thursday.
Thursday.
Karl Anthony Towns, if he gets traded, watch for Giannis to wind up with the Knicks.
That would be intriguing.
I have not heard any overtones about that because the only team I've ever heard him mention was Golden
If you look
State.
on Facebook,
I heard Golden State. I also heard
right
maybe
now.
possibly Dallas too, Ken. I also heard Dallas.
Oh, I had not heard Dallas.
Yeah, I think
I
I
had
heard
not
Dallas.
heard Dallas. Wow.
Yeah.
I would take him in a heartbeat.
I don't know that Dallas has enough capital to get him, though. That's just the point.
I don't know either. That's true.
No, actually,
That is very
what
true.
they were saying is that he should go to San Antonio to play with Wembanyama.
No, I hope not.
You see,
No.
and
Well, with Pop not being the coach anymore, I don't know how that's going to benefit.
Yeah.
yeah, but
San
Pops
Antonio
is gonna have his input from
He's going to have
Probably,
input.
yeah, more than likely,
from
yeah.
behind the curtain. And this
Right.
guy that's taken over was endorsed by
Wasn't he Pop's
Right.
protege?
Yeah.
One of them.
So
What's her name with the Las Vegas women's team was also his protege.
Right. Right.
I think if the Knicks get Giannis, move Towns, that could make the Knicks a tough deal next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Would the Knicks welcome Luka?
I don't know what Luke. That's an interesting development.
I don't think he's going back to the
Does Luka
Lakers.
stay in LA or does he go somewhere else?
I
I don't think he
he.
re-ups with the Lakers. It's too much shit
Yeah.
over there in Tinseltown.
Too much drama going on in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
think-
as long as LeBron's around, the drama is going to fucking continue.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he's not ready. He's not going to retire until he can't walk it anymore. So
Well, it is what it is, but LA's never going to.
I don't know about you guys, but at 40 years old, there's no way I could have played 48 minutes in a
Hell
basketball
no.
game at 40 years old.
No way.
Well, yeah, but you know what? He's got all the benefits and luxuries of
Well, he's the face of the NBA.
what are those
Oh God.
the chambers that people sleep in?
Right, but he's the
If
He
he's
is
the face of the
king
NBA, then the NBA
of
needs
the
a
NBA
shave.
right now, and whatever LeBron wants to do,
No,
They're
the
gonna let him do
NBA
it.
needs a facelift, is what they need.
No, they need
Yeah.
a shave.
But no, I don't think LeBron. Again, they're not going to. LA's not going to win another title with LeBron on that roster.
Mm-mm.
no, they're not.
Plain
No.
and simple.
Nope.
And if Luka winds up back in Dallas, that's going to be the big FU to the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
the
Nick
Luka-
Harrison will be.
I think the Mavericks burned their bridge with Luka Doncic. To be honest with you,
The Mavericks did. Nico did.
Well, Nico,
Nico
yeah,
definitely did.
Well, hey,
If they,
you
if
know
they
what?
fire if they fire
Money
Nico
talk,
or
baby,
Nico
money
leaves,
talk.
then Luka will come back. Not.
But
not
think
until
about it.
Nico
You
leaves.
don't think Luka would want to go play with Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving?
Absolutely.
and-
Yeah,
and
well,
Oh yeah, you would, as long
Yeah,
as
but
Nico
only-
wasn't there. Hell
Only
yeah.
if Nico's not there. He doesn't want any part of Nico, and I don't blame him.
Wasn't Nico the guy that pulled the beer out of his hand
Could be. I don't know.
back when they won the finals?
Could be.
So
I don't remember. I only vaguely remember that.
But-
somebody pulled a beer
Yeah.
out of
But
Luka's
you did
hand.
Right,
you did see
right.
how
He was giving a
JJ
beer after
Redick
the win.
indirectly took a shot at Luka, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
When you said people need to
Yeah,
get
well, the Lakers front office did. I mean, the head coach did.
right.
shot at-
JJ
took a
Redick,
shot at
he
Luka
took a shot at Luka about his weight.
about his workout ethic. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like they were showing pictures the other day of him overseas.
He looked like he'd lost a few pounds of weight. Looked pretty good. Looked pretty
Right.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the experts, okay, it's easier for NBA players to lose weight in the off season than it is during the season.
Right, because of the road, because they're on the road.
Because of the habits.
And they're eating bad food when they're on the road.
Exactly.
Elliot, I saw something, and this is going to be weird for me. I saw something on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. R-Truth is out of WWE.
Yeah, they just released him.
They released him.
Yeah.
What was this?
Carlito and
R-Truth. Any reason given why they released him? I mean, is it just their normal their normal shit?
Well, let's just say a lot of people and a lot of superstars are not happy about the release.
Especially The Miz.
Yeah, well, a lot of them. I mean, John Cena's got to feel bad too because R-Truth's one of the biggest fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless of what role Cena's playing, I know that he holds a special place for R-Truth.
Well, R-Truth was one of the most popular.
He still is one of the most popular. If you look at all the reaction, that's going on about him and his release. I was reading something here, and of course, but
hell, even Ken knows who R-Truth is.
Carlito got released also.
I thought Carlito got released 10 years ago.
Oh, no, he came back a couple years back.
Oh, okay.
When Damian Priest fought Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico in the pay-per-view. And but I mean, it's the cuts that they keep making.
It's the nature of the business. I understand that. Okay.
Plus, they're signing new people that are actually going to get more TV. Like they signed Penta. They've signed several people from AEW. Rusev is back.
They're bringing people up from AEW to get into the.
Rusev is back from AEW.
Good Lord. Why would they bring that retread back? Good Lord.
Well, he's a big dude, and
you bringing the chick back with him, or is it just Rusev?
No, him and Lana are divorced, dude.
Oh, okay.
They're done.
Does WWE own AEW?
Yes.
Okay, so it's their minor league then.
No.
AEW is owned by the Khans.
Oh. Okay.
Shad, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and his son.
Shad Khan. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And his son Tony is actually the one that he's the actual owner, but his dad that fucked it all up for him.
Right.
So no, WWE owns TNA.
Yeah.
And
NXT, right? But no, AEW is a Khan production.
Separate. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you got guys over there that still talk shit about WWE, like, Chris Jericho. And
Surprise. Jericho.
But yet, so many people are jumping ship at AEW and coming back to WWE. That's got to tell you something.
WWE pays more. That's why.
Well, yeah, but they're more popular, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I haven't watched AEW in a long time. And I only got time for one wrestling foundation.
Time, right. I got you. All right. We're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you. Real quick, also, I wanted to mention NBC has offered to take over Sunday Night Baseball and the rest of ESPN's baseball inventory.
Oh, wow.
They made an offer to.
Well, they just took the NBA away from TNT, so
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
next year's going to be real interesting.
Back in the day, Ken, who had Monday Night Baseball? Was it ABC?
ABC, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it wasn't the NFL, it was Monday Night Baseball, and ABC had it. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you get Bob Costas back involved with Major League Baseball with NBC.
Well, okay, all right. Let me clarify that. At first it was NBC, and then ABC took it over.
Okay, all right.
NBC had it, but then ABC took it over. Yeah.
So NBC's offered to take over Major League Baseball on Sunday night, as well as the rest of ESPN's baseball inventory. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that and see how that goes.
It's going to be next year's
right.
going to be interesting because, like we said, ABC is giving away the NBA to NBC.
Have you guys seen the
Fox,
commercial
right?
with John Tesh?
Yeah. He's the guy
playing
who wrote that music.
playing the NBA tune like
he wrote it. Yeah,
like what he created.
He wrote it.
Hey, one more thing really quick about the Indiana and New York series.
Yes.
I think Tom Thibodeau got outcoached as well.
Yes, he did.
Do you think Thibodeau stays, or do you? I mean, it sounds like the Knicks.
Well, they just extended him this season, so
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get rid of him or not. But it would go a long way if they did.
I got one last thing to say. Also,
go ahead.
Very, very bad night for New York last night because the Knicks
it was awful,
and the Yankees got absolutely obliterated.
Well, shit, it was 10-0 after the third inning.
It was so bad, Shohei Ohtani fell asleep. Okay, I'm just saying.
18-2.
There's film of him nodding off during the game last night.
He was bored.
I would have been nodding off too. Shit.
Yeah, well, I think I contribute that to the fact that he's a new father and he's not getting much sleep with the newborn in the house too. So anyway, all right, guys, thanks. It was a great show. Looking forward to having Wayne back next week. Ken, stay healthy. Elliot, keep doing what you're doing. Fellas, I appreciate you. And on that note, we're gonna get the hell out of here. We are the Sports Nerds. We will be back again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I am the Sports Nerd. And on that note, Elliot, please play the outro.
By the way, next Sunday, I'm going to be in Phoenix because I'm going to Monday Night Raw.
Go figure.
Ooh, cool.
So
you won't be here next Sunday. Well, Monday. If it's Monday Night Raw, it's going to be Monday. You're going to get a hotel in Phoenix. You're going to your mom's.
No, I'm staying with my niece.
Staying with your niece. You're going to broadcast. You're going to come on the show from her place, or what? What are you going to do?
Depends on if I take my laptop or not.
All right. Well, if you're not here, you're not here. It's all good.
I'll try.
All right.
But yeah, there's a pay-per-view Saturday night and then Raw on Monday.
Cool.
Anyway, all right, guys. Have a great week.
All right.
Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Elliot, play the outro.
Thank you once again, Nerd Nation, for spending part, if not all of your evening with us here for this latest episode of the Sports Nerd Show. Please keep in mind that we do this on a regular basis. Bullshit. Every Sunday, Tuesday, and night. And since each night's start time is
what the fuck did you just say?
Shots fired at Scott. There we go.
Bullshit. So until the next time we come together, Nerd Nation, on behalf of the Sports Nerd and his co-hosts, Ken Koslow, John Olson, Wayne Lynch, and me, Big E, may your lives be filled with all the best sports action anyone human can handle, as well as all the joy it could possibly bring you. And with all that said, good night, Nerd Nation, as the time has come to say